they're going to do everything in their power to push that down the road. There's a Board of Governors meeting tomorrow. Today, the GMs met across the league, and I think it comes down to tightening the protocols. So right now, of course, the league is not heading in the right direction, so they're going to try to manage what they can, and that comes down to things like shoot-arounds. Do they want to eliminate morning shoot-arounds and push that toward, in-arena workouts so they eliminate additional travel for players to practice facilities? It also has to do with post-game handshake. You don't necessarily need players from one team going over to the opponents following a game and hugging one another or shaking hands. That creates some issues as well. So it comes down to tightening protocols, even on road trips. If you're going out to eat on a road trip, that probably won't be allowed anymore. So you're probably going to have to stay in your hotel, which makes a lot of sense to me. But I don't think a league-wide shutdown is really on the table just yet. For now, it has to do with tightening protocols.
Well, the Celtics were set to play with a league minimum of 8 before Sunday's game was called off because Miami could not dress enough guys. But now Tuesday's game has been postponed as well. Is there reason to believe the outbreak is getting worse for the Celtics?
Yeah, I would say there is, and that doesn't necessarily mean more positive tests. It just means that there could be more players listed as out due to contact tracing. So, like you said, Sunday's game was canceled. Even though the Celtics had the minimum players, it was actually the Heat who had a player, return an inconclusive test, and so they didn't meet the minimum amount of players. Now, ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski reported that the Celtics game on Tuesday was canceled in Chicago because the Celtics didn't meet the minimum amount of players. So if you take that report, which you should because Woj is pretty good at his job, there's a good chance that it is heading in the wrong direction for the Celtics. And obviously, as we know, COVID-19 is extremely contagious and you have to be extremely careful. So I would say that the contact tracing web will probably get bigger before it gets smaller for the Celtics if it hasn't already happened, excuse me.